What's up? Welcome to another edition of Mundy's Workbench. Hey, putting on graphics tonight. And luckily, I have a fellow racer, 50 plus A rider, Brad Abel. He's gonna give us some tips. So we've got some high octane graphics. Brad's got several years of experience putting on graphics. He works at Johnny Signs, and he's gonna finish up his video of me, and I'm gonna put the video on him. So here we go. All right. So this is Brad Abel, 50 plus A rider. He does a lot of crossroads, IXCR. He does the Southern Indiana GP and Stony Lonesome. He's not afraid to go wherever. So anyway, what do you think here? What we got?
Yeah, so we're going to be putting on this shroud over here, and first thing we want to do is kind of make sure the holes are lining up well and everything's in good alignment. So I've already taken the backing off that exposes the gum, and I'm going to kind of ease it on there. Oh, we should probably back up and talk about plastic prep.
Okay.
Because that's very important.
Yeah.
One of the things you need to do when plastic's new or old is first clean it with a good solvent, such as denatured alcohol, or like Brad has a contact cleaner here. So, because this new plastic has a release on it that'll keep your graphics from sticking very well. So anyway, we use contact cleaner over everything. Then we use some glass cleaner to remove any residue of the oil, and that pretty well preps it to where it should stick well. But one of the keys is using a lot of heat, the heat gun and things, and we'll get into that in a second.
Okay.
Here we go. We'll line up some holes. Just see, I'm making sure everything's pretty good shape there. Looks like this stuff's well made. As far as the template, I'm going to grab a squeegee here, kind of start from the center and working out.
So you just started doing this yesterday, right?
Yeah, so here I'm just kind of like, and this is an easier piece to put on, as you know. The side number plates are usually the tough ones because of the round parts, but so I'm kind of like getting to the center, working this down.
Now, do you prefer to have the plastic mounted on the bike?
I do. That way it gives you something if you have to zip it off and the plastic isn't loose.
Okay.
It's a lot easier for me to do it on the bike. Just like with the front number plate, like we did earlier, we took the front brake cable out of the way so we could get to that easily, and that kind of helps there. But
now, I've put on graphics before, but I'm always afraid that once I stick it on there, I can't get it back off, and it's kind of a done deal. But
yeah, well, that's the thing. Like right here, and I could demonstrate that. I mean, say things don't look right, your holes aren't right. You know, for instance, if that wasn't good, I can give it a quick tug.
Yeah,
I can zip
yeah, I've seen you do that.
And rather than just trying to pull it slowly, you give it a quick tug, and then you can realign things. Like if that hole wasn't right, you know, I can kind of move it. If I needed to, I could heat it right here.
Okay.
To move things around, but luckily these are in good shape. I'm going to put it back.
The quick pull method.
Yeah.
And you haven't really solidified the adhesive yet because you haven't put too much heat on it.
I'm just kind of like softly installing them here, and then we're gonna really get serious with the heat in a sec. And another thing, once we get done, I'll show you. You don't want any of your graphics exceeding the plastic, just like right here, which that's in pretty good shape. But if you got corners that are sticking out, like right here, that's going to stick out. I'm going to take this knife and trim it to make sure nothing exceeds the plastic. And that way, when you wash your bike or you're riding, no mud or dirt gets in under that, or water, because everything has to be sealed down at the edges.
Yeah, I've noticed that. I'm like, how does water get in behind the graphics? But I see now, and it makes a lot of sense.
So as you can see, I've not really pushed that down yet, like that one there. So I'm going to give it a little bit of heat. The hairdryer works well too. So and once you're done putting your graphics on, you want to be sure to take the heat gun and go around every seam. Heat the graphics up really hot, and that'll really help them last well.
Okay.
Here, you know, I'm going to get that pretty hot right there because that's a pretty hard bend. I use a squeegee a little bit, my thumb a little bit, just kind of like, I got a little bubble right there. So I'm gonna pop that with my knife and then just push it out real quick.
Yeah, some of these bubbles, I thought, how in the world am I going to get that out? And then I noticed you utilizing that X-Acto knife to get the. You just put a little hole in there at the back side of the bubble, right?
At the edge of the bubble.
Okay.
One of the edges, and then just push the air out.
Okay.
You can see I'm chasing around this edge, heating that edge up really well. Like it's burning my fingers right there. And so, like right here, see that little spot right there? That's just destined to get
okay.
like dirt under it. So I'm going to trim that.
Just get rid of it.
So just get rid of it.
Okay.
And so right there, that just keeps it good.
Okay.
Good and solid on the plastic. And this whole back side, I can feel an edge right there with my finger.
Okay.
So what I'll do, take the knife here. And that way you can see it's
nice and clean.
Nice and clean, yep. And this is going on well.
Yeah, I put on my fair share of graphics, but I've always got little problems here and there. But these tips that you're pointing out, I can see in the future I can utilize those and maybe get my graphics looking a little better.
Well, and it also just helps them last throughout the year. You know.
Yeah, some of that trimming stuff, I never took the time to do that before.
Yeah, anytime like in a hole there, if you've got a little bit hanging over, you know, you can give it a little, just a little trim, and that makes all the difference.
Yeah.
So there's that one.
Very good.
Yeah. We'll do this one here.
Yeah, we can do that one.
Yeah. We got. So, and sometimes it might help, like if your shop's a little cold, you know, give your plastic a little heat.
Oh, okay.
Start. You know, and that also helps if you got some glass cleaner in the holes. It might dry things up, or you know, and then give the graphic a little thing. And then another thing, like earlier, we had that front number plate that was kind of wadded up.
Yeah.
Like you know, it had been kind of been twisted, and we took it off and heated it up off of the plate to get rid of all the wrinkles that had been created, and it came back to this normal looking, you know, like it looked like it was new. And we were
it did. I thought
again.
I thought it was a done deal.
Yeah.
And so what had happened is I'd made a mistake with it, and I kind of got it wrinkled, and then I got a message that he was going to come up and help me. I'm like, well, I'm just going to pause and wait and let the pro come. And he pulled that off of there. I had about half of it on the front number plate. He pulled it off of there, heated it up with a heat gun all by itself, and took that major wrinkle out. And I couldn't believe how well it turned out.
Well, this one here, for some reason, the hole looks a little bit like we're going to have to trim that hole a little, maybe.
And sometimes you just have to make a compromise, don't you?
So see how I'm zipping it up, just trying to get a feel for where it goes. I'm looking at the line here. I'm trying to lift this line up front here, right in there. So I'm kind of softly putting this on the high spots. You know, I'm kind of rubbing it down
Right,
on the high ridges. And I can see this one here is going to require some trimming, but it's not a problem.
Okay.
You don't have to be scared about putting on graphics either, because like right now, if we was finding out this wasn't lining up good, I could take and just zip it off real quick, maybe give it a little heat off the bike to kind of reform it. Just a little bit of heat. Hair dryer heat's fine.
Yeah, this stuff's
And then-
designed
so
to
it's not
kind of.
really something to be scared about.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
You can always kind of start over, unless you just wrinkled it so bad that it's, you know, really bad.
Right. Well, I think that's a good point. I was always afraid of, well, like I said, once I've got it on there, it's done deal.
Yeah.
And I've seen you pull them off and
Right.
kind of start back over. Mostly because they were my mistakes.
Well, another thing is the quality of the material, which this is very good quality. It's very good quality. Some graphics aren't as good as others, but this material here is very good, which allows it to reform when you
Right.
You know.
And that's just the quality of the material that the graphics are printed on, right?
Exactly.
And this is all designed to kind of be formed and fitted, because all the plastics on four-wheeler and a quad, or a quad and a bike, I mean, they're all not completely flat surfaces, so they have to be molded on there a little bit.
This is on there. Actually, it's lined up better than I thought. I just got two spots on the trim, and one is like right here, and then the hole is just a teeny bit off. You can see I can get my finger under that. That needs to be trimmed, and that's going to be like so.
Yeah, that's really nice and clean now.
And then I'm going to come down through here. And then I'll probably round it a little bit at the bottom.
Yeah, before I would have just left that, but I know as time goes on.
Right.
And it actually looks a lot better showing that green there. Yeah.
And so, so I'm going to, this little spot right there looks a little funky. I'll just trim it up and round it, because it's probably going to come off anyway at some point. Okay.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and so that's that.
All right, Brad. Well, I appreciate you taking the time out.
Yeah.
I know there's IU basketball. They're apparently playing Purdue or something. Look at that.
That's right. Go Hoosiers.
That's right.
At Purdue.
Apparently they are they're ready for them. So anyway, thanks everybody. I appreciate you guys tuning in. And Brad knows the cue line of show us your
Yes, thanks for tuning in to Mundy's Workbench for a special graphic installation installment. And as always, show us your tips.
Yes. All right.